दिसत नाही का इथं दुसरे थांबे चालू कर. गुड आफ्टरनून येते का? त्यांचाच आवाज येतो. गुड आफ्टरनून. Today, third chapter is strategy planning and rating, याच्यावर आपण डिस्कस करणार आहोत. स्ट्रॅटेजी प्लॅनिंग इन रिटेलिंग, त्याच्यामध्ये आपण फर्स्ट रिटेल मॅनेजमेंट स्ट्रॅटेजी पाहणार आहोत. त्याच्यानंतर लेवल फॉर रिटेल ऑर्गनायझेशन, स्ट्रॅटेजी रिटेल प्लॅनिंग प्रोसेस, अल्टरनेट रिटेल सोर्स, त्याच्यानंतर टार्गेट मार्केट अँड रिटेल फॉर्मॅट्स आणि इंटरनॅशनल रिटेलचा जो पार्ट आहे. In this unit, first objective is after reading this unit, you should be able to discuss the retail strategy, access the international expansions efforts of the related, and explain the concept of retail value chain. Strategy means several things to several people at different points of time. It is fashionable nowadays to use the word strategy. Hence, people talk about defense strategy, business strategy, strategy for games, national strategy, global strategies, and many more strategies. The retailing strategy outlines the missions and visions of a retail organizations. It is a systematic plan that provides the retailers the overall frameworks for dealing with competitors as well as the technological and global movements. In the past, traditional retails may lead to change in the business environment, but with the increasing business complex, this is no longer valid. The regions of these competitions in all the disciplines of retailing in increasing and change in the consumer taste need owns technological environment and other external environmental variables are taking place very fast. Long-term strategies and continuous examinations of strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats is required to ensure that the growth opportunities are not missed and actions is taken at the right time to combat potential threats in the prevailing business environment. Retail market strategy. A company strategy provides a central purpose and directions to the activities of the organizations, to the people who work in it, and often to the world outside, using suitable strategies and communicating them to all important groups inside the outside the cooperative the wood grain cooperation from all corners. Strategy is defined clearly by the top management and accomplished well, provides the purpose and focus for all other activities and starts the organizations on the road to successful operations. Every long journey starts with taking the first step. Say a proper. Obviously, the formulations of a strategy is only the beginning, but the beginning is the most significant point in any enterprise. Levels of strategy for retail organizations. An organization's strategy includes where it wants to go and how it intends to get there. This definition applies both the overall strategy of an organization and to the strategy of its major subunits. The implementation implications of strategy at different levels can be distinguished and analytical. There are three levels of strategy. First is corporate level strategy. Second, business unit strategy. Third, functional level strategy. At the corporate level, strategy decisions relate to organizations wide politics and are most useful in the case of multi-divisional companies or firms having wide-ranging business interests. The natures of strategy decisions uh, at the corporate level tend to be value oriented, conspicuous and less concept the decision at the business of function level. There is also greater risk, cost, and profit protection as well as greater need for flexibility associated with corporate level strategy activities. There are natural outcomes of the innovative and pervasive character of corporate level strategy. Major policy decisions involving acquisitions, diversifications, and structure designing belong to the category of corporate strategy. At the business unit level, discuss makers are primarily concerned with the implemented industry to product, market issue, and with policy bearing on the integrations of the functional units, retail business level strategy decisions translate the general statement of directions and internet generally at the corporate level into concrete functional objectives and strategy for divisions or strategy business units. Operating divisions of firms which serves to distinct product or market segment or a well-defined set of customer or a geographical area. Strategy decisions at the business level should include policy involving new product development, marketing, mix, research and development, personnel, etc. Functional strategy level strategy involves decisions making at the operational levels with respect to specific functional areas, productions, marketing, personal marketing, personal finance, etc. decisions at the functional level are often described as tactical decisions. These decisions are necessary guidance by overall strategic considerations that must be consistent with the framework of business strategy. Next strategy detailed planning process. This takes developing and applying retail strategy. Retailers are required to follow a step-by-step producer or planning process. The process involves the present stage of business, the formulations. List of available strategy points at the implications of the selected strategy. Consider the importance of strategy decisions for the future success of the business. A systematic approach is essential the strategic planning process. After considering the HR protection and the unique selling provisions of by a particular store takes proper shape. Strategic retail planning process divided into the following four four steps. First step is resigning the store's missions and objective. The retail strategic planning process starts with the identifications of a store's missions for its extents and hence the scope of the retail store. The missions of a store is identifying the goods and service that will be offered to customers. It also deals with the issue of how the resource and capabilities of a store will be used to provide satisfactions to customers and how the store can compete in the target market, especially its competitors. The missions also involves the way of the store functioning, how a store will work and accomplish its day-to-day operations. What is the emergency plan? All these questions are answered in the store mission statement. For example, Big Bazaar, they have a philosophy of consumer satisfactions though manufacturing relative. This reflects not only the way it tends to treat its consumers, but discuss secret of its competitive advantage. Example, these profits saved from absence of intermediaries like agents and brokers. The profit saved in distributed to the customer by way of how by law price items. Once the organization's missions has been determined, its observations its objective, the design futures positions that it wishes to reach should be identified. A store objectives are defined as aims that the store seeks as achieved by its USP and operations. The store objectives may be classified into two parts. First is the external store objective are those objectives that define the impact of the store on its environments. Example, to development high degree of customer confidence by providing quality goods at affordable price. Internal store objectives are those objectives that define how much is accepted to be achieved with the available resource. Example, to raise the store turnover by 20% in the coming years. Situational analysis. The objective of doing store situation analysis is to determine where the store is at present and to forecast where it will be if the formulated strategy are implementing. The difference between current and future positions is known as planning, and the objective of connecting stores situation analysis normally studied in the context. To external environment and internal environment. External analysis, the purpose of examining the store external environments is to study the opportunities and threats in the retailing environment. The external analysis studies factors that affect the micro environment of the creative industry and the tax environment under external analysis. It studies these parameters. First is the economics environment of relating. Second, political or legal environment of relating. Sociocultural environment of relating. Technological environment of relating. And next, international environment of rating. Economics environment of retailing, infections, employment, disposable income, business cycle, energy availability and cost, others. Political legal environment of regulating monopolies, regulations, second environment product protections laws, taxation policy, employment laws, government policy, legalizations, others. Social culture environment of relating demographics, distributions of income, social mobility, lifestyle change, consumerism, levels of education, others. Technological environment of relating new discoveries and innovation, speed of technology transfer, rates of observations, internet, information technology, others. International environment of relating growth, opportunity, others. Internal analysis, the objective of studying the internal environment of its own store is to identify the store capabilities and weakness. The store will try to increase its capabilities and overcome the weakness that deter the business profit. While in doing the internal analysis, the store examines the quality of quantity of its available resource and critical analysis. How effective these resources are used. These resources are for the purpose of examining are normally grouped into human resource, financial resource, physical resource, and intellectual resource. The questions may arise under this resource. First, the human resource. In is the present strength of employees at various levels sufficient for future actions? Are the employees trained and capable to perform the tasks assigned to them? Are the employees loyal to the store? Are the employees punctual and regular? Are the employees skill matched to their assigned tasks? Next, functional resource. What is the total clash? What is the total cash flow from the store's present activities? Second, what is the ability of the retail store is to collect money at the time of requirement and emergency? How effective and stable are the financial policy? What is the ratio between fixed and current action? What are the contingency plans in case of negative cash flow? Physical resource. What is the contributions of fixed assist? Uh, how is the positions of abdomen on use? Assist. How effective and updated are the stores information system? Intangible resource. What are the present capabilities of the company's management? How effective is the R&D sales? How good is the computers intelligence system? How effective are the store loyalty programs? What is the capability of a retail store manager? Are customer loyal towards the company's product? Retail strategy. It is a clear and defined plans outlined by the retail to tap the market, a plan to build a long-term relationship with the consumers. Process of strategy formulations in retail is the same as that for any other industry. It starts with the retail defining or starting the missions for the organizations. Second is the missions. The missions is at the core of the extensions of the retail. Other aspects of the strategy may change over a period of time or vary for different markets. Functions for retail strategy. First one is a retail strategy defined missions or purpose. A mission statement is a long-term purpose of the organizations. It describes that the retail wishes to accomplish in the market in which we choose to operate. Retail's mission statement would normally highlight the following: the product and service that will be offered, the customers who will be served, the geographic areas that the organization choose to operate in the manner is which the firms intends to complete. They strategy conduct a situation analysis. Once the retail missions is defined, the retail organizations needs to look inwards, understand what its strength and weakness are, look outwards to analyze its opportunities and threats. Situation analysis helps the retail determine his positions and his strength and weakness, helps formulate a clear pictures of the advantage and opportunity which can be exploited. The weakness need to be worked upon. This forms the basic or the core elements of any strategy. Retail strategy identify options, strategy alternatives. After determine the strength and weaknesses, vice versa, vice and environment details needs to consider various alternatives available to tap a particular market are ignored and show or presented a matrix which look at growth opportunity. He focused on firms present and potential product in the existing and new markets and moves matrix also helps to understand the options available to retail. The alternatives available to a retail are market penetrations, market development, retail format development and diversifications. Retail strategy set objectives, translation of missions, statement into operational terms, indicate results to be achieved, give directions to and set standards for the measurements of performance. Management sets both long-term and short-term objectives. 1 or 2 years time frames for achieving specific targets are short-term objective, long-term objective are less specific and reflect the strategy dimensions of the firm. Two important focus areas of retail are market performance and financial performance. Objectives are set keeping these focus areas in mind. Sales value targets, market share targets, probability targets, liquidity targets, returns on investment target. The test strategy obtain and allocate resource need to complete resource need by a retail. First human resource plan must be consistent with overall strategy of the organizations. HR management focus on issues such as recruiting, selecting, training, compensating, and motivating personnel. This activity must be managed effectively and efficiently. Second, financial research takes care of the monetary aspects of business shop rent, salaries, and payments for merchandise. Detailed strategy development, the strategic plan. At this stage, strategy is determined though which retail will achieve objectives. The retail determines and defines its target market. The retail finalize the retail mix that will serve the audience target market, that segment of consumer market that the retail organization decide to serve. No defined process to design and selecting the target market. Most retailers look at the entire market in terms of both size and consumer segments to which it might appeal. From these segments, in identifies smaller number of segments that appear promising. These become possible targets. Variables like growth potential, investment need to complete the strength of competitions, etc. are evaluated. This enables the retail to arrive at the best alternative that is most compatible with the organization resource and skills. Retail strategy implement the strategy. Implementation is the key to success of any strategy. Effective implementations of the other retailers desire positioning requires every aspect of stores to be focused on the target market. Merchandising must be single mind displays must appeal to target market. Advertising must talk to the target market. Person must have impact for the target market. Concern. Customer service must be designed with the target customer in mind. Evaluated the control. After implementations, the management needs feedback and should focus on performance effectiveness of long-term strategy by periodic evaluations, ensuring that the plans do not degenerate into training adopt efforts, ensuring that all efforts are in the harmony with the overall comparative strategy of business. Management can also use the process to decide on any future policy change modifications, if any, in the plan to ensure that the combinations of the rating mix variables support the firm's strategy. Its strategy implementations and control. It is a considers with the designing and management of a retail system to achieve the best possible combinations of human, financial, physical objectives without timely and effective implementations. Also requires scheduling and coordinators of various retail activities. Rather, the spirit of teamwork is an essential part for the success of strategy implementations. If the retail stores strategy or competitive marketing efforts are as per demand, but the sales promotion employees are not taking it seriously or are effective, the results will be up to the mark. The implementations of new retailing strategies sometimes require change in the way of functioning and duties that can lead to since from employees. Therefore, stores should take positive steps to reduce these institutions to change and to convince the employees that it in the long term will be beneficial for both the store and the employee. Strategy control tells in three basic concepts: inspections, detections, and corrections. It means after implementing the retail strategy, a retail should assess how effectively the strategy are beginning implemented, how far the strategy objective are being achieving, and what has been left to be achieved. It is the store objective list. Therefore, it is inspect the implemented strategy from this time to time and direct and default in the implementations of various retail elements if any deficiency of is up found during the inspection process that has been cooperated with the immediate effort without any further loss to the stores. Second, alternate retail strategy. Given that the objective as well as articulated resource are well managed, but when it comes implementations due to sudden change in internal or external environment, the old concept or formulated policies becomes invalid. Now, what should a retail manager do? This is not an uncommon phenomena but can happen to any retailer. It has rightly been said that think positive but the prepare for the worst. Considered to who are sensitive to environment change. They always create a set of alternative strategy in case change in technology or change in customer performance make the present scheme ineffective. Target market and retail formats. The retailing concept is that retailers must consider both their customers and their competitors when developing a retail strategy. Successful retailers satisfy the need of customer in their target market even better than the competition does. The selections of a target market focus better that the competitions does. The selections of a target market focus the retail on a group of consumers whose needs it will aim to satisfy. The selections of a retail format outlines the retail needs to be used to satisfy needs of customers in the target markets. The retail strategy determines the market in which a retail will compete traditional market like farmers market and place where buyers and sellers meet and make transactions. The consumer buys 6 years to come from a